Artist Journal, September 16th, 2022, Berlin. My name is Adrian Pocobelli, artist reporter on the scene, trad art scene, digital art scene, everywhere for you, my friends, for you. I have some pictures of the art fair. There's a little NFT corner. I'll save it for the end. So interesting. We'll get to that later. Let's start with this. Let's get right into it here. Ralph Steadman, counterculture icon. The guy, I think he became famous from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, when that was basically a serial that was in Rolling Stone, when Hunter S. Thompson, a counterculture icon, was writing Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas for Rolling Stone. So that was like the golden age of Rolling Stone, where you had, again, Hunter Thompson doing his gonzo journalism, which was kind of like this counterculture journalism that was kind of so good it was considered literary. And then you had Ralph Steadman doing some of the images. So very famous stuff. Let me just bring that up. Let's see. Hunter Thompson, Ralph Steadman. So very, very famous. Again, like a counterculture. This is kind of iconic stuff here. I used to work in a used bookstore when I was, 13 actually to 17 in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan. And there was an old hippie guy there called Mike, who's passed on, and he taught me everything. He was sort of like a teacher in search of a student. And I was just more than happy to learn about all this crazy stuff. So he told me a lot about this stuff. So I was reading Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, pretty young, maybe at 16 or something, and Naked Lunch, which is actually a pretty boring book. The first 3 pages in Naked Lunch are excellent, and Barrow has his place. And the audio recordings actually, I think, are some of the most important works, as well as the cut-ups, but let's not go on too much of a tangent here. So this is Ralph Steadman. I mean, a very famous artist who collaborated with, look at this. When is this from? Is this Hunter S. Thompson? I'm not sure if this is looking back or if this was from Rolling Stone in like 1960 something. Yeah, like this looks like old Rolling Stone. See Ralph Steadman. So, yeah, I mean, this is like the rock and roll magazine, like the cool magazine. And so anyway, there's Hunter Thompson, growing up gonzo journalism. So I don't want to get too lost in the weeds here, but Ralph Steadman is on Tezos. And I thought it was kind of hilarious, actually, on the day of the merge, kind of like a cultural icon. Along the lines of Robert Crumb, who we were mentioning in a previous episode, Crumb's probably considered a little more important. Like if Crumb came onto Tezos, let's say, or onto Object, that would be like a jaw-dropping, like holy S moment. Okay, this is pretty close though, and so anyways, Ralph Steadman art surprise. Ralph Steadman's people, I'm sure, put out this tweet because I don't think he's putting out surprise hashtag clean NFT drop on hashtag object.com. The White Rabbit announces our plunge down the rabbit hole into Web3. An affordable hashtag Tezos art piece as my introduction to Tezos. So here's Ralph Steadman on the day of the merge, and congratulations to all the ETH people and all the developers. It's easy to forget that these are real people making all this tech happen. So congratulations to them. Sounds like it was a pretty big success. I didn't notice any problems, but I haven't actually used ETH since yesterday, so let's see. I'm curious about the gas fees there. So anyways, a classic Ralph Steadman piece. So I saw this on Twitter. I saw the tweet and immediately felt FOMO. And I was like, I got to run and get this. But then I was like, wait a second. Let's look at the details here. The White Rabbit announces From the illustrated Alice in Wonderland plunges us down the rabbit hole and into Web 3, 1967, ink on paper. So, yeah, so again, it's back to this copies of physical art as NFT debate, which I'm a little skeptical. I think people should be able to do whatever they want, and if people want to buy it and sell it, I think it's wonderful. Art being sold, bought and sold, and I'm happy. Not only do I have no problem with it, I'm happy for it. When I put on my collector hat, I sort of think twice, because I go, that's not the work. If I had all the money in the world, I want the piece of paper. To me, that is the work. And that's why I'm sort of a bit biased to digitally native stuff when it comes to NFTs. But anyways, really cool work, and I think it's just fabulous for Object and for Tezos. They have to be very happy about this. It looks like it was even minted on Object. See, Steadman Universe, it's not Hen. So they got to be just thrilled about this. Object's doing a good job of staying in the background, if you ask me. And people don't complain about Object like they did at OpenSea, and I think they should be actually given a lot of credit for that. So interesting. I mean, the market is interesting on this too. So I think it sold for 1. There's 500 and it's now buy for 14. So yeah, you see all this. Yeah, Flexosaurus just got in on it. Not sure what's going on. Yeah, so anyways, big day really when someone like Ralph Steadman jumps in. Even if it's physical work, it's pretty, on a symbolic level, it's a really big deal, in my opinion. Continuing on, now I thought now was a good chance to look at Quila Nina's work, she does acrylic, oil, glitter, and sequins on canvas, and she has like a cult following. Like, she is really liked, and I love her work. So I just wanted to point out, another great artist who's kind of doing physical work as NFTs, and really, she seems to really be making it work for her, and I like just her kind of surrealist kind of work. Again, this looks like twins almost, and they're holding hands. Like, there's kind of something almost, for lack of a better word, kind of astrological, and kind of almost want to use the word like totemic and like kind of tarot card sort of feel to it. So anyways, she does really cool work. Maybe we can quickly bring her up. Yeah, you see, she's kind of got this like, I don't know if you'd call it magic realism, but just like you can see why she's got this kind of cult following. Guadalupe. So her take on the Virgin, or Our Lady of Guadalupe. Again, remember the Bazaya work that I picked up the other day? So acrylic painting. So anyways, congratulations to her, and she's doing beautiful, beautiful work. Here's another physical work I saw that I thought was really good. I think it's physical. There's no information given. It's Carletti, Lopez, Traviesa. Not all of them are here, but all of them are there. So I thought just a really interesting way of putting a bunch of pop culture references into one basically composition, which is in the claw machine. So I quite like this. It looks like it's painted quite nicely as well. So Die with the Most Likes, I missed this by seconds, and I think I missed it hilariously. Like, I clicked on the buy, and then it's like fail, right? And a strange thing must have beat me hilariously. Like, you gotta love how small this community is. Strange thing beat me by like seconds. So congratulations to him. He got a great one. This great Die with the Most Likes. What's it called? A Memorable Descent. And he has a bit of a poem here. And so you can read that. And again, just classic. So this pairs really well, I think, with Ralph Steadman, which we opened the show with, who, brutal satire. You could almost see Die with the Most Likes as a kind of modern Ralph Steadman type, like just brutal satire. A lot of just, psychedelic kind of stuff. Honk if you're horny, legalized ground beef, Interstate 420. Got some Disney characters here, some old people that are disintegrating. Splash Mountain 2008, so it's almost a parody of an ad. Beautiful work. Went for 150, sold really quickly, and now I think they even made a sale for 240. So people are flipping and making like 90 Tezos in like a couple of hours there. So yeah, literally like a couple of hours. Someone made like 90 Tezos, so pretty nice. Also this one of one, which is still available for 4,000 Tezos, which is actually still cheap for Die with the Most Likes if you look at his Ethereum work. So kind of interesting. Yeah, so I think this is called Our Last Cruise, another poem. So these were both in collaboration with Fake Whale, by the way, who seems to be also doing a lot of stuff in the NFT scene as a kind of gallery, I think. And they're putting out editions. So again, just another brutal satire. Again, I think William Burroughs here. And yeah, I mean, Our Last Cruise, and these people look like they're in a hospital. Happy anniversary, just like a lot of death and just like brutal satire. And stuff like, removing the whites of the eyes here. It's quite brilliant. He makes it look easy, these little decisions, but they're pretty haunting, with these Disney characters and Winnie the Pooh. So anyways, and you see like the cruise, I guess that's in the background. So just a brutal take on cruise culture. Fantastic work by Rat Cloaksy. This one really, yeah, I think the quality, I mean, they were all very high quality and we all know that. But I guess my point is he seems to be getting better on this phone art business. Interestingly, the auction is at 100 now. Die with the Most Likes had it at 70. I guess he liked the meat maybe, but this is a beautiful rendition. I think I maximized it here. Like, Rat Cloaksy did a very nice job on painting this one. It seems like kind of a, it seems like a bit of a next level on this one. That's just my take on this, true or not, but it's beautifully painted. And I actually quite like the meat and this kind of face in the meat. Again, he's got like the double hands, kind of mysterious work here. So yeah, that is still available. You can bid on that. Really, really, really nice work, in my opinion, from the Finger Art Gallery. So amazing work made on a phone. And yeah, Die with the Most Likes had bid 70 on it. So pretty hilarious. So now it's Ganbrud at 100 Tezos. So Rat Cloaksy continues to get some good bidding. Here's Ganbrud's work. So he's an artist I'd never actually seen before. Kind of interesting, detailed work. Some on Versum. Okay, so moving through here, Shelly Preston, who does a lot of kind of AI and satire, I think. He had a good kind of Mythdonald's, a nice tribute to the myth. Mythdonald's, where only legends can dine. A tribute to the myth. So pretty classic and pretty funny and just kind of great. Again, just kind of like, you see this culture that's on the platform and just in the Tezos scene, and you could say the NFT scene in general, but particularly on this, on Tezos. And yeah, you got to be bullish on that because you can't really fake culture. You can't fake people being enthusiastic and talking about other artists, responding to other artists. And this is another thing on community I want to bring up. This is how great this is. So I wasn't even sure. I was almost deleted this video. Like I was like, this is kind of a little too all over the place. But then you get a comment, and I assume El Mito is the myth. Great video, Adrian, as always. Thanks for the space. So how great is that? When, the myth chimes in, says hi. Same with Joe Rogan's dad. Again, like, this is great, guys. GM, Pocobelli Daily Upload Over Coffee, talking about, Joe Rogan's work where he's talking about his myths. So this is just, I'm showing these as kind of the culture. It's great, right? And you gotta love it and enjoy it because this thing very well could explode. Maybe it won't. I mean, who knows, right? Who knows? But if it does, and we're all talking about, the next show at MoMA, you're going to look back on these days as the great golden days. Okay, these will be the days. So really enjoy it. Enjoy your journey here. because it's looking great. Okay? So that's all I'm saying is really just enjoy every little transaction you have with people, or interaction is more what I'm trying to say. Rustic digital art, stargazing at the city of trauma. So we looked at some of his work before. I thought this was a really nice piece. It looks like a European train station. So it's stargazing at night, so nice purple sky. I just thought it was a really interesting work. I mean, there is a poetry to these European train stations, and I think rustic digital art, I don't know if it's European, but kind of captures it. Maybe it's Argentina. So anyways, really nice digital painting for Tezos, so pretty reasonable. Max Drecker is another artist you're going to see early on Tezos. He has a new work, 250, edition of 20. Again, this would have went great at the art fair, which we will look at shortly here. And I think I brought up some of his work. Yeah, so he's kind of op art meets MC Escher type guy. Like there's a lot of kind of optical illusions, and he's got a ton of work. So in a sense, to have kind of a comprehensive view of what's going on Tezos, you kind of need to be familiar with what he's up to. He's just one of those guys that you're going to see when you peruse collections. So you see a little bit of kind of op art meets MC Escher type stuff here. This is a work I picked up here, which I really like. I just really like the colors. Yeah, so anyways, classic Max Drecker, Colony, and back to the culture. Okay, so I don't know about you, but Strange Thing and Thuglord are blowing up my notifications. I'm almost thinking I have to send Thuglord to another wallet, so I'm not getting 50 overwhelmed with Thuglord notifications of offers, because there are 1,000 of these. This could go on for a while. Anyway, Burr Sector put out You Win, Pixel Thuglord, 8-bit tributes, my pixel tribute to the legendary masterpiece of Strange Thing, amazing AI artist, and I agree. This is becoming an iconic work of AI, and this is an awesome tribute, by the way. I picked this up. I love it. You Win. Like, it's awesome. Score. Like, this is beautiful pixel rendering, by the way. And so this is just becoming an iconic AI work, and it was released. I mean, remember we were talking about how some works just hit? Like, this just nailed it. And this was released on September 4th, less than 2 weeks ago. Okay, and already, there are the tributes coming in, the homages. And Bazaya real tribute to Thug Life. So I assume this is our friend Strange Thing, is now getting the Bazaya tribute. So another honor, Thug Life. I guess we have to assume that's Thug Lord, a reference to just the thug kind of Nike guys. So very cool. This looks like a work in progress, I believe. So I'm sure the official, yes, is part of a bigger piece. Hope to have news soon. So he's working on it. So again, back to the culture, right? New work by Geo Mariani. And again, one of these guys you'll see early on when you're in the discovery process on Tezos and on Object. So I thought he's just worth kind of touching on here. He has a new work, one of one. And this is also what I want to look at. Sent to Jano Lapin Gallery. And remember Jano Lapin from Françoise Gamma? These were all sent to her. And you also have Aquila Nina. Again, you see how small this world is. Ed Marola and a Geo Mariani, one of one. So it seems like Jano Lapin Gallery is making a bit of a play on this Tezos Object Web3 situation. If you don't know Geo Mariani's work, this is typical. I'm sure you'll come across it sooner or later. It goes for, most of it's gone, and most of it goes, it's pretty expensive, actually. So I guess these are one of ones, but you can get a one of one for 100. Maybe that's something to look at. This was kind of just an interesting, another video glitch guy, Gucci Burr. You don't need to watch the whole thing. Kind of looks like Tron here, but it's probably some ninja movie, right? So, interesting. Edition of 1 for 3,333. Louis Osborne put out an edition of 100. So lots going on in the last 24 hours here. I mean, amazingly. Very cool work. I think he gave the first 10 to his top collectors and then sold the rest for 4. And so already a day later, it's at 875. So, you know, good momentum, smart move. And you see, like again, you see the power of doing these huge editions. And if you, with a really nice artwork, like if you kind of get lucky and your artwork is, you know, it really hits and then everybody buys it. Like, look at the press that Thug Lord and Strange Thing gets every day. Like, I'm just seeing nothing but Thug Lord in my notifications here, you know, every 4 notifications. So continuing on, Diego Barrow, he is burning the rest of these, so I thought we'd just touch on it. I think it's a really cool work. I just picked it up, actually. Made on Procreate, so a digitally native work of some flowers. I think one of his first works. Digital illustration made on Procreate. And again, he combines a lot of photo and digital. Someone said flowers, so yeah, so an earlier work. So yeah, he continues to put out a nice regular stream. I quite like this one. Acrylic painting on photo printed on paper. So mixing the mediums, right? So interesting. I'd be curious to see even a digital layer on this. But I quite like the composition and it looks really good. Morlakos is doing some Bitcoin work. And I really like this piece. And yeah, you see dispenser, xchain.io. I think that's the Bitcoin Pepe stuff that's kind of blown up quite a bit. So there's a Pepe here. Again, got that kind of great tarot card look, Morlakos, and these awesome, you know, trademark ladders in the clouds. I love Morlakos' work. Like, he continues to, and shout out to Morlakos' dad. Morlakos was saying his dad likes the show, the program. So shout out to him. Thank you for watching. I hope if you're watching today. And also, as we wrap up here, this is an artist that we weren't able to load yesterday. So I just wanted to give him his due. I think it's Dave Keels. And he's kind of referencing the John Skeleton guy who does a lot of these windows. So anyways, just kind of an interesting work. Here's another one. And we'll get the title in a second. See a Game Boy. We saw Game Boy with Haiti Rocket yesterday. DaveKeel.Tez. So buy for 1,000. So people like these works. What's it called? Cabin Fever. I guess we're getting close to Christmas, so we can put on a little Christmas show. I actually have one in my head. I've been collecting here and there little Christmas works. And this was just sort of an interesting kind of artist that I thought was worth touching on. Venta, with an interesting work. Edition of 10, buy for 33, so not cheap. But I haven't looked at the rest of the market, but it's kind of an interesting work. And Sky Goodman, which almost brings us to our art fair here. So he has a new work. We haven't touched on him. He's kind of, my impression is he's a bit of an OG of the space. Let's just see. And yeah, so I made a sale, and we'll come back to Sky Goodman in a second because he's actually in the art fair. I just want to thank thisisme.tez though for picking up my last work on secondary, Magentia, which is from my Nostalgia Studies series, something I've been working on for years. And I'll show you the original. And again, Ultima 4 has its kind of lifelong fans, and it's not, in my opinion, for the gameplay. It's for the visuals. And so it's my homage to Magentia here, non finito on Procreate. And so, and Culture 3, actually, a shout out to them. Georgie interviewed me yesterday, and they're actually pretty cool what they're up to. We exhibit the best artists, cutting edge builders, and innovative communities creating the future of the internet. So give them a follow. Very nice, very cool. Seems like a pretty sophisticated group. So let's go to the pictures of the art fair. Let me bring this up. Okay, is that right? No, that is not right. Let me just, here it is. Here it is, okay. So here is the Berlin Positions Art Fair. And yeah, so it was actually pretty well attended. This was the preview. Again, my friend gave me his VIP ticket very generously, so me and my girlfriend went. And I thought I'd just take some pictures for you guys so you can just get a feel. Not everybody is in Berlin. These guys are quite famous right here. They're kind of a couple, and they'll always be at like the big Berlin events. They always dress the same. So keep your eyes out for them if you're ever at a big kind of, especially in Berlin, event. Let's see. These are just some interesting works I saw. Let's see. Here's my girlfriend, Inez, looking at the NFT positions. So you see the TVs, and I think we have a Sky Goodman next. So yeah, so here's a Sky Goodman work. He was the only name I recognized in the NFT area. Again, I'm kind of back to the difficulty of TVs because it really changes the composition. I understand projectors might be difficult to pull off, but you see, like, again, it really changes the work when you have a big rectangle in black. So anyways, cool work by Sky Goodman. But again, kind of small though, kind of hard to see what's going on almost. Here was the little desk. So again, you had your own little NFT thing. And I thought we very quickly could just read this because it's actually kind of interesting. So NFT positions. In this curated exhibition, we present selected works of crypto art. I thought it was interesting they called it crypto art. I think the crypto art people would say that's one word. I don't mind it. When I first got on Super Rare and everything, I was like, dumbly, I was like, it's not crypto art. It's two words, not one. And they were just like, this guy has no idea what he's talking about. So so I think the people in the scene would call it one word, but I think people outside are going to use it two words. Anyway, they use two. We would like to introduce you to a selection of NFTs, discuss access, content, and perspective, as well as artistic and collection-related issues. Samsung and Gallery Greulich are supporting us in this endeavor. And this was interesting here. The NFTs are minted on a climate-friendly proof-of-stake blockchain, so this is very important in the art world, and consume, in the traditional art world, and consume comparatively little energy during the transaction. I think it's weird that they didn't mention Tezos. Like, maybe it was more than one. Maybe there's another one, like I think Palm, like the Damien Hirst one. In cooperation with Below 2, the remaining CO2 consumption of each NFT sale, including a screen life of approximately 1 year, is compensated. So they really go out of their way to address the climate, environmental, power usage issue. Here's a list of the artists, if you recognize any. I only recognize Sky Goodman, but it was nice to recognize somebody, actually. Otherwise, I would have been kind of confused. So here's another kind of look at the TVs. And then here's from the corner, just looking at the bigger art fair and you can see the NFT stuff over there. And this was right beside it too. And again, you see the awkwardness of, like, what I would prefer, I don't know if it's even possible to do it in daylight, but I would rather have just one big screen and rotate through all the works on the big screen. And because you see, like, here's a vertical work with this huge, massive TV. It really changes the feel. The reptilian immediate feeling you get from the work is really with the black that becomes a part of the work, the frame. So, I continue my comments. Not bad attendance, really. I went to a couple of shows in the evening and they weren't that well attended, which was interesting. But here, for the preview, I'd say pretty good attendance. So with that, thank you once again for joining me. I'm going to leave it there. Until next time, take care.